In our next video, we are going to talk about multiplication of matrices. So how do we multiply matrices? Remember in our previous video, we discussed about how to add or subtract matrices. And now, let us know how we can multiply those matrices. So if this is a matrix multiplied by another matrix, this is a cross multiplication. So for us to multiply these matrices, then we are not going to multiply corresponding elements like we did in addition. We are going to do it this way. So if you have, you're going to begin with the first row, and you multiply the corresponding elements by the first column in the second matrix. So what do I mean? So you're going to multiply A by E, A multiplied by, you're going to multiply A by B by E, A by B, and you add that to B multiplied by G, B multiplied by G. So that becomes the first element. Now the second element, we are going to multiply the first row and the second column for the second matrix. So that is going to be A multiplied by F, and we add B multiplied by H, B multiplied by H. Now that becomes the second element. Remember, the result of that must be a 2 by 2 matrix, because we are multiplying two by 2 matrices. So now, for us to find the next element, which should be here, we multiply the second row and the first column. So that's going to be C multiplied by E, and we add that to D multiplied by G. And now the last element is going to be very easy, because we're going to multiply the second element, the second row and the second column. So that is C multiplied by F, and then we add that to D multiplied by H. And we have to enclose it by the brackets to make it a matrix. So for us to make it easier, let us solve this example. This is a real example that we are supposed to solve. So if we have matrix A, which is equal to 6, 2, -1, 4, and matrix B is -3, 2, -4, 6, we are supposed to work out A squared plus A multiplied by B. So for us to work it easily, it's good if we can work out the value of A squared. Remember, we have already learned on how to add matrices. So we're going to work the result of this and work out the result of the second matrix on matrices, so that we can add them together. So right away, let's start. So we have A squared. So let me do it over here. So A squared. So A squared, that means we're going to have A, which is 6, 2, -1, 4, and multiply that by the same matrix, because it's A times A. Remember, A squared is A times A. So multiplied by 6, 2, -1, 4. And the result of that is equals to, so 6 multiplied by 6. So 6 multiplied by 6. We add that to 2 multiplied by -1. That becomes the first element. The second element is 6 multiplied by 2. 6 multiplied by 2. We add that to 2 multiplied by 4. Now, on to the third element. So we're going to now move to the second row, And now the first column in the second matrix, negative 1 multiplied by 6. We add to 4 multiplied by negative 1. And the last element is going to be the second row and the second column. That is negative 1 multiplied by 2 plus 4 multiplied by 4. So let us simplify that. Looks kind of complicated, but it is very easy when you simplify. This is 6 times 6 is 36. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 36 minus 2 is 34. That's the first element. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 12 plus 8 is 20. And then negative 1 multiplied by 6 is negative 6. And then 4 multiplied by negative 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus negative 6 is negative 10. And finally, negative 2 multiplied by negative 1 multiplied by 2 is negative 2. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. 16 you add to negative 2 is negative 14. And that becomes a squared. And now we are supposed to also work out AB. So let me use the room over here. AB, this means it is A multiplied by B. Now we have A as 6, 2, negative 1, and 4. And we multiply that by B, which is negative 3, 2, negative 4, 6. Now that you know how it is done, let me do it very fast. So we are going to have negative 6 multiplied by negative 3. That is negative 18. We add that to 2 multiplied by negative 4. So negative 8. Negative 18 plus negative 8 is negative 26. And then 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. Again, 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. So 12 plus 12 is 24. And then we have negative 1 multiplied by negative 3 is 3. We add to 4 multiplied by negative 4 is negative 16. Negative 16, you add 3 is negative 13. And finally, we have negative 1 multiplied by 2. Add, that is negative 2. Add 4 multiplied by 6 is 24. So 24 you add to negative 2 is negative 22. And now that becomes the solution of A multiplied by B. And finally, now that we have the two solutions, so this is A squared and this is A multiplied by B, now we can add them together and we will have found the solution for this. So let me add them together. So it means that A squared plus AB is going to be equal to A squared is 34, 20, negative 10, negative 14, and we are supposed to add that to negative 26 plus 24, negative 13, negative 22. So let's add them together very quick. So negative 34, we add, remember in addition, we add corresponding elements, and now that is going to be equal to 34, you add to negative 26, that is 8. Is it 8 or, yeah, that's it, should be 8. 20, you add 24 is 44. And negative 10, you add to negative 13 is negative 23. And finally, negative 14, you add negative 22 is a negative 36. And that becomes our solution for this problem over here. So in this video, what have we learned? We have learned on how to multiply matrices, and we have said if you want to multiply matrices, you multiply the elements of the first row and those of the first column and you add them. So for instance, we have said A multiplied by E, you add to B multiplied by G. So that becomes the first element. The second element, then you're going to have A multiplied by F, you add to B multiplied by G, you get the second element, and so on. We have done an example where we have a matrix A and a matrix B. We are supposed to work out A squared plus AB. The first thing we want to do is to work out A squared, and A squared is A multiplied by A. And therefore we had to multiply this matrix by itself, and that's exactly what we did here, and the solution for that was this. We also had to work out the value of A multiplied by B. A multiplied by B is right here, and its solution is right here. And we need to add the two. A squared, we add to AB. And that is exactly what we have done here, and the solution of the whole problem is there. And that's how it's done.